Okay. Sorry about this. Just trying to get everything settled here. But this is race week 2, confusingly enough, as we are now 1 week behind in the F2 series because of unfortunate circumstances in the Monaco Grand Prix, all the way back in mid-December. But what this also is the first MidWest homestand. And by that I mean the Canadian Grand Prix has been named the official track of the Midwest F1 League. I mean, for us, simply put. But with all that, for it being named that, we all prepped to do, to make. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once here. But we all wanted to make this have like a little bit of a homestand as we are this week. As obviously I am rusty here as well. This has been a little bit of time since my last time behind the mic. Of course I did do the Midwest Madness, but just to be kind of, but that's kind of was what it was. It was a fun time, and I suggest you go and check that out when you have a chance on our YouTube channel, if you so gracefully could. But today we're back with our F2 league, and like I said, coming from Canada, to completely reiterate what I said, as I see I'm getting some new viewers into the broadcast here, is the Canadian Grand Prix has been made the Midwest F1 channel. AAC Berry, first one in 2020. I like to see that. The Canadian Grand Prix is the track of the Midwest F1 League. So this week has turned into an all-Canadian Grand Prix, which is labeled as the Midwest Homestand, until we figure out a better name. Or we can just roll with that. But the Canadian Grand Prix has had some fun races, and was the very first race all the way back in late July for the Midwest F1 League. I actually got a little bit of fun history about this past decade, actually, in the Canadian Grand Prix. With Mercedes owning it, we're just going to stay on with Lord Zed. Mercedes, of course, owning the last half of the decade, with only Ferrari picking up a win since 2015. Other than that, it's been all Mercedes. Of course, no race this year. Kenny has already retired from the session. Jacko's up in first. Ferrari has owned, as well as McLaren, in history of the Canadian Grand Prix. No race was held in 2009, which has been the only year not to hold a race since all the way back in 1960, I think it was. So the Canadian Grand Prix, especially in Montreal, has been a very big part of the Formula One world. We see as well Ginna to win it and ZGS of the session. HSVDT followed by his teammate Elma Jacko. Up at the top, they're looking to take a front row lockout. Narniel and Hotspot seem to be flopping a little bit there. Narniel actually trying to get into the top 2, but Hotspot actually is able to enter in there. Lord Zed now in 5th. Just behind him, I imagine, is Random Serious, as those are two very quick drivers. We'll have to see what is going to end up here. We got a new face in the grid, a Daltonian. I guess I'll go with that. But it comes over the line. Hotspot taking actually pole away from Jacko. HSVTT unfortunately runs down to 4th. In front was Narniel. Lord Zed into 5th, and I'll get into the rest after that. The Suitman actually looks like he got... Why is there only 19 drivers? I spent so much time trying to... I know. A Daltonian. I'm not sure. I think, honestly, JC may have gotten a little bit overwhelmed. We'll have to settle things down next week. But if you did tune in last time into the Monaco Grand Prix, you could kind of see the problems that we had. So we're trying a new host here today, and that is JC Blackley. So much appreciated that, man. But quickly, we'll go through how the grid finishes up here. I believe I was down in 5th, Lord Zed, followed by Random Serious. The tier, Canadian finishing highest in 7th, JC Blackley 8th, Will M in 9th, Smith Pell finishing out the top 10, Tim Lee, a Daltonian, a 78 Corvette, Spaceman, and the DSQs are ZGS, Money Matt, Suitman, Ginna to win it, and Kenny. So 5. Yeah, Hotspot's actually got some pace. He's really shown that. But some very there's a lot of overtaking possibilities here in the Canadian Grand Prix, in my view. I think so. Of course, the Casino Straight going into the Wall of Champions after turn 11, coming into that little right-hander of 12 is one of the big spots. Going into turn 1, of course, even if you're not taking someone into turn 13, then you can line yourself up going back into turn 1 in the following lap. Turn 8, that first DRS section on this track really isn't much of an overtaking zone. You can get something going if you have a really good run out of turn 7. You see the guy ahead of you fall over in some sort of way, but yeah, even into turn 10, the hairpin, if you get a good run out of turn 9, you're able to time up your opponent ahead of them. You really have a good chance of overtaking a lot of areas of this sector, even into turn 6, and that Sebastian Vettel chicane in turn 3 and 4, but we are away. Hotspot gets a really good jump and actually is able to take a clean lead into turn 1. Jacko tries to set up a clean line, but is going to be in tough. Narniel right on the back of Jacko, trying to get around him off the hop, but doesn't look like he will. We've got yellow flags galore. It looks like, who was that? ZGS got a disqualification right off the hop. Oh yeah, I wonder what happened there. I wasn't able to catch what went down, but I'll quickly pick up the detail here to see the position changes. There we go. Money Matt seems to be the big winner so far with 6 positions. JC Blackley unfortunately has fallen down 10. Lord Zed taking a dive on HSVDT into that hairpin of turn 10, speaking of number 10. That he got reversed on track. Yeah, very possible. HSVDT was able to hold off Lord Zed there, but he's going to get right up on the back of him here. It looks like Kenny was able to overtake Suitman in the back of the field there. Lord Zed trying to take a lunge, but HSVDT matches his braking time and nothing was done. Ooh, Matt and Smith Pell are going wheel to wheel, each driver giving enough room, but it's going to bring Tim Lee right into the party as he does get an overtake done on a Daltonian. Tim Lee into 10th here. Nice little top 10 for Tim Lee, but loses his braking point and clips the back of Money Matt. Now loses loses a bit of his wing, gets a lockup going into turn 2. Nothing changed too much. Looks like HSVDT looking at Narniel as well, but Narniel able to defend. Oh, looking to drop back. Oh no, he's still alive. I know a little bit piece of jet to win it. This battle is for the latter stages of that mid-pack is still very underway. Smith helped like he's dropped a couple positions from where he was initially batting with Tim Lee in 10th place. Kenny has now really gained some positions, 7 up from his initial starting spot. He's got Alderton. A Daltonian, Tony. Say Tony, that's pretty good. But Kenny goes on the inside of Tony. Tim Lee goes way wide. He's going to open up a nice little un-out for Kenny. But is Kenny getting into somewhere? He might have gotten a little bit too heavy on that throttle there. Or should I just call him Dalton? Monster, hey, how's it going, man? Money Matt picks up an early penalty. Oh, and Jinnet's going right at Dalton, but nothing there. We'll get right on to Jinnett, see if he can overtake into turn 1, but he looks like he's fallen too far back. Oh, what happened to Jacko? Jacko's absolutely lost many positions, all the way down in 8th now. As his teammate is sitting up in 3rd, that's going to be a very strong team, as it's shown so far this year. Kind of know what you're going to get with Jacko, and that's a pretty solid performance. If HSVDT can bring in some solid finishes as well, then they're going to be a really tough team to come by. Well, it looks like Tim Lee's losing a little bit of that pace. Oh, it looks like we're going to get 3 wide, and oh, it doesn't look like Dalton gave Jinnett really any room as he kind of pinched him off, and he comes out worse in the ordeal. Oh no, did we lose Narniel? Yeah, Narniel did spin out, and he's going to drop all the way down the pack as well. Where's he going to come out? He's actually back behind into 10th. Has he picked himself up now? Yeah, he finally has got himself all the wall. Gear the tier gets an overtake done on random. Hotspot's able to break away from the pack a little bit. DRS has been open this lap. No real overtakes yet so far. We might see one in Will M and Random Serious. Random actually is first into the pit. Must have taken some sort of damage. Maybe Spaceman coming on Tim Lee. Might see something there. Nothing doing as Tim Lee is in the pits for, I imagine, a new wing. Kenny's worked himself up 12 positions, and right now he'd be sitting in 13 positions as the Money Matt penalty is going to get him to overtake. But I did not notice that Hotspot has a penalty, so actually right now he's going to be sitting down into second place with that penalty. If that is a 3-second, yes it is. Here we go, Lord Zed looking to take a nice little lunge onto turn 8, but yeah, just a very short DRS zone and tough to overtake by HSVDT going off track. So probably going to pick up a warning for that situation here, and Lord Zed thinking about lining him up into the... Oh, and there you go, HSVDT locks up, that opens door wide open for Lord Zed. And Lord Zed actually going to get the DRS out of the 2 as well here, so maybe able to open himself up a little bit of a breathing room. But now Kenny is going to try and work on Money Matt. Money Matt is on those super softs and Kenny is just on those soft tires. Money Matt unfortunately going a little bit too, and actually finds himself on the grass a wee bit. Kenny's just going to break away from Money Matt now. Surely on the better tire compound in this situation. JC Blacklick gets an overtake done as well on Spaceman. Will jump on the back of him. HSVDT is into the pit. The first in the lead pack there. We'll see where he comes out. Oh! Spaceman just misjudged his braking point, or maybe thought that JC was going to go through a little bit quicker onto the wall of championship chicane than what he did. Gets the back of him. Doesn't really look like anything is wrong with JC as well, though. Check the tire wear. So right now the top 7 still yet to pit. You can see Spaceman, Corvette, the Daltonian as well. They are into the pits. So seems around 4 or 5 laps for these super softs. Kenny is on those softs. He's making some real move. Known to really try and last out those tires as much as possible. Feels like he's able to hold some pretty solid pace on some old compound tires. So I'll have to see what is up in store here, but it looks like Lord Zed's making a little bit of ground up on Hotspot now. That 2-second lead, not so comfortable anymore, as Lord Zed's nearly worked himself within DRS. Actually, he does have DRS, but Hotspot's got some really good straight line speed there. You know, if Codemasters, or I guess soon to be EA, can go one step further and show me how many warnings they each have, that'd be great. Two other tiers you can see into the pit, so yeah, 4 laps for him on those super softs. We'll have to see if Money Matt as well. Looks like Money Matt on that mini map is coming through that wall of champion chicane, coming right by it, and he's going to continue on for at least one more lap. Janet collects a penalty. Looking to go on the outside of Smith Pell, but Smith Pell goes to defend. Janet's going to break a little late, gets a little bit of a tap on Smith Pell. We anticipate a little bit of a later break for Smith Pell than what Smith did, but yeah, look at now as Lord Zed is actually overtaking Hotspot, but Hotspot gives him the room, and now Lord Zed finds himself into first place with like a 3.5 second gap with that penalty to Hotspot. So Hotspot has been losing some major time here, maybe using up a little bit too much of those tires in the first couple laps, and Lord Zed's tire management has seemed to have been the difference between these two. But Hotspot is going to get DRS, and he's just going to opt not even to get back into his slipstream, and he's going to go on the inside line and going to get the overtake done for first place, and both are going to come into the pit. Don't see any penalties for either here. Hotspot can't serve that penalty in the pits. I'll have to see where they come out here, see where HSVDT winds up. HSVDT has a pretty good shot to come out in first here. We'll have to see, because this F2 pit stop is not as quick as the F1. In F1, they'd be out by now, but we jump onto Hotspot as he is in the lead. He is starting to move up Where's HSVDT? He's overtaking JC Blackley, but JC's got the inside line into turn 1. There you can see them coming out of the pit lane. Is HSVDT going to come out in front? Oh, JC Blackley gets pushed out nearly right into Lord Zed, but HS is able to overtake and now has provisional first place. But oh, sorry, no, I didn't see. That was Lord Zed, not Hotspot. Hotspot is actually sitting in first place with a nice 2-second lead between the two. JC looking to get overtaken on Lord Zed, but Lord Zed taking that position back. We'll have to see how long Will M and Kenny go for here. Kenny is he's gonna have to run those softs for quite a while, so we're gonna see how much ground he can make up at the end here when he switches onto those super softs. Got a nice little pack forming here from 13th to 15th, or sorry, from 12th to 15th actually. A lot of drivers very close to each other. Narniel sees a gap and then takes it on Tim Lee going up into 14th place. Narniel's going to want to try and work his way through some of these slower drivers here to get himself back up into a chance for some solid points here. Oh, Lord Zed got a 5-second for speeding. Thank you for that. Thank you, thank you. Oh, now Narniel working on Smith Pell and actually finds a way around the outside. Gets 2 overtake in the sector here. Oh, now Tim Lee going to work Smith Pell on the outside into that hairpin. Goes way too deep, but he should have cut back on that corner a little harder, and now he's a little bit too far back. Does have DRS. Narniel looks to have no, unfortunately he did not collect DRS, a little bit too far behind Money Matt, but it looks like his position is safe for now. Smith Pell may be thinking about a move into turn 1 if he can get a good run out here, but looks like Narniel was actually the better of the two. Now Narniel may be thinking about a move into turn 1, but his time is running out and he's going to have to line something up a little bit later into this lap here, unless Money Matt really slips up here. Narniel is going to have a tough way, and there you go, Money Matt opening the door ever so slightly, but Narniel unfortunately not be able to take what was there. And now Narniel really putting on the pressure. Random Series picking up a penalty. Let's see where Narniel goes. Is he going to think about around the outside here? A nice little switchback. Yeah, he lines himself up for a switchback, but not much there. He's going to have DRS here, gets a really good run. He's right on the back of Money Matt here. Money Matt goes and takes the inside line away. So now Narniel's going to go around the outside, tries to give him room. He does. Now it turns into the inside line, and Narniel's going to get a clean overtake. Some very nice driving here, and actually Money Matt's not going to give in. He's actually on the fresher tires. He's going to have to brake later for the inside line. Not sure which out of the two got the DRS there. May have been Narniel. Or is it Money Matt? It was Money Matt. So Money Matt gets the DRS and gets the position and gets a little bit of a block as well. The other two are looking to get close on JC Blackley. I'll jump into that battle after. I'll quickly peek it, but nothing going here. Narniel, unfortunately, without DRS, is not going to be able to take a lunge, and Narniel finds himself in the same position as he did last lap. Once again, as it went before, Money Matt opening the door, but unfortunately Narniel not able to take advantage. Dalton gets an overtake on Tim Lee as Tim Lee is into the pits again. Unfortunately, I missed that overtake tier had on JC as he's got much fresher tires, so JC was in tough on that. But now JC might be even tougher, and here we go, Narniel's coming right back at him. But JC's actually losing some ground to Random Serious. Up for 7th, Narniel's got a clean pass there, was able to get a much better run out from turn 7 than the last lap, but he's going to have to try and break away here. Will M finally in the pits after 8 laps on to those super softs. Switch over to Random Serious here. Random looking for a lunge. JC gives him a little bit of room, and Random unfortunately gets a little bit too heavy on the throttle. Nothing wrong on JC's part, he did give him the room. Unfortunate circumstance there. Now Hotspot's really making up ground on Kenny here. Much fresher softs as well. Kenny's going to be hurt, and Kenny goes a little bit wide. I'm not sure if he tapped the wall, but he didn't take as clean of a line as Hotspot did, and those fresher tires are just winning out as Kenny unfortunately gets overtaken in the shortest DRS section of the track by Hotspot and HSVDT. And HS picking up another penalty. I think that's his second one. No, it is only his first. But Hotspot actually has another 8-second penalties, or 8 seconds worth of penalties. So it must pick up 5 seconds somewhere. Ooh, Jacko and JC look to be going at it here. Jacko's got the inside line. It might be in JC's better interest to just open himself up for a cleaner line. He doesn't really, as Jacko just decides to send it all the way around the outside and has the fresher of tires. Maybe only 3 laps, so not too much of a difference there, but enough for Jacko to be able to pull away on the straight. HSVDT looking to have a run into turn 1 on Hotspot. Hotspot breaks late, has the line, so he opts to take it, and HSVDT is going to have to slot into second and stay there. Will M looked like got an overtake. I believe, yes, he did. And got the DRS. As they flop positions between 9th and 10th. Suitman looking to come back, but unfortunately doesn't have DRS going into turn 1. But, oh, Will M hitting the wall is going to help him out quite a bit. It's a wall of champions. Doesn't fully claim another victim, but sure adds a mark onto that. What was former Welcome to Montreal wall, but now has been changed. With, of course, rebranding and all that good stuff. I mean, how could you not blame him, right? It's one of the more famous walls in F1. Someone's going to want to put their name on that bad boy, as that's seen every lap around the Montreal track. But Smithfeld looks to go into the pits as well. Ooh, and Suitman gets a little bit of that wall. Jinnet's got DRS, but so does the Suitman, so Jinnet's going to be in tough for an overtake here. It doesn't look like it's going to be able to come to fruition. Gets a really good run out of that chicane. May think about jump and lunge down into turn 10. We see the skies get a little bit foggy as Jinnet licks the snap and absolutely sends it into turn 10, but by doing so gives himself a very poor racing line, but does very well to actually regain himself. And it looks like, yeah, we do have some rain coming down here now. We also have Suitman and Jinnet to win it, going wheel to wheel here. Neither of them giving in, but it looks like Jinnet got that inside line and has the better... Sorry, Narniel has the better whereabouts to give him it, and opts out. No. What am I looking at here? Sorry, the Suitman and Jinnet. The Suitman had the line, Jinnet gave away. Spaceman picking up a penalty. Suitman in 10th, Jinnet in 11th. Elma, Jacko, and Tier the Tier look to be battling for 5th. Let's see if Jacko can pick up and make that ground. Actually, HSVDT is really close up on Hotspot here. Might be able to think about an overtake. Hotspot getting a little too heavy on the throttle, not too bad though. Was able to save it. Not going to hurt him all too much, but HSVDT with that DRS is going to come right up on Hotspot's caboose, and it's going to overtake Hotspot, showing him the wall a little bit. Nothing too dirty there, I'll give him that. He ended up giving way. Forces HSVDT in a pretty bad line, but unfortunately HSVDT does have DRS, and Hotspot won't be able to get an overtake back into turn 1, but Lord Zed's not too far out, and Hotspot looks to have gotten a little bit of a tap onto HSVDT here. But nothing too mischievous in that. Jacko gets the overtake on Tier the Tier, and Lord Zed just absolutely swipes out of nowhere to overtake for 2nd place. Now Lord Zed looking to come back at HSVDT. I'm not sure if we're going to see any drivers into the pit here. I'm looking at that mini-map. Oh, Lord Zed gets too heavy on the throttle. That's going to help out HSVDT quite a bit. Alright, so we do have a driver in the pit. Let's see what he opts for. Is it wet enough? That's another driver into the pit as well. So Jinnet, Jinnet actually retires from the session, unfortunately. What's Spaceman going to do here? We'll jump back over to that in a second as Jacko's making some real ground up on Kenny, as Kenny is on 12-lap old softs. He is not having a good time here, as Kenny found himself all the way up into 2nd at one point, but has since fallen. Looks like he's fallen again, and yes, Spaceman is throwing on the wets. I'm not sure if that is something that the game has passed along to him, or if that is just his decision. But every driver on track right now is on softs except for Spaceman. We'll have to see how that goes, and a couple of these drivers, Kenny and Jacko, opt out of the pit. but Hotspot goes in, so we'll have to see. It looks like he's throwing another set of softs. So not wet enough for Hotspot. He's going to have to try and ride those softs out for the rest of this race, because if it starts raining even more, then Hotspot's going to be real tough, because he's going to have to come in. Ooh, there we go. So Smith Pell gets a really nice overtake on Dalton, AE, Adal, Tony, Ian. There's so many things that I can say with that name. Kenny looks to have gotten overtaken by Tier the Tier. Tier the Tier actually gets the DRS out of it too, so Kenny must have lost it on track somewhere. Or not lost it, but let's say lost some time on track somewhere. Kenny back down into 5th place. But now those softs may start evening out a little bit closer. There we go, we see Suitman actually also on to the wets as well. We'll have to see how many more drivers opt to pit here. I'll have to check out that gap between Spaceman and Tony. Dalton. There we go, Kenny coming back at Tier the Tier down the casino straight into turn 13. Tier the Tier doesn't give way. Kenny gets a nice little drift out of there. See if Kenny's able to come back into turn 1. Tier the Tier goes for his block right in the middle of the track. It goes deep into turn 2. Kenny has a much cleaner line, but unfortunately coming around into turn 3, not much of an area to overtake, at least not mid-race. Off the start of the race, maybe, but mid-race, you're going to have to do something absolutely flawless to get a move done there. Not sure when we're going to lose DRS here. Only 2 drivers on those full wets. So right now the gap between Suitman and Dalton sits at 5.4. We'll have to see how much that's etched away. As I say that, he's already taken off 3/4 of a second, now into a full second, so full wets may be the way to go here, but it's probably quicker around the track right now, but I couldn't imagine it being, or we'll have to see if it's a quicker way to the finish line. Simply put, Random Series looking to come at Kenny here. A couple of our Tier 1 drivers. Kenny breaks a little bit late. This is going to get a little bit eerie now. Kenny may have lost some of his front wing somewhere. I think he's lost all of his front wing somewhere. No, looks like just the right side. Come on, give me a good look. It's the black on black. Yeah, he's lost some of his right wing, but he stays and ventures onward. Gets a nice little drift once again, flirting with the Wall of Champions, but nothing too bad. I'm serious, looking to try and get into the podium here. Tim Lee pitting. I imagine he's going to throw on some softs. Oh, what happened to the Suitman? The Suitman made up so much ground on Dalton, but has seemingly lost it all as that gap jumped to 7.5. And now it's being brought all the way back down. Very much a tricky race so far. Ooh, does Kenny get it? Kenny re-overtakes Random. Random must have lost it. Let me see, I think that's Jack Aitken's car with the Williams Racing Academy. DRS is now finally been disabled here. You see Hotspot right on the back of JC Blackley there. Oh, does he get into him? Whose wing was that? Was that Hotspot's or JC's wing? I think that was JC's wing. Yeah, there you go. JC's missing a good portion of that right wing, so he's going to have to pit and probably throw on some wets. See what he can do. Is yeah, so there Suitman has made up a mass amount of time on Dalton, so the wets are the quicker way around the track right now. But I'm not sure. The rain still looks to be coming down pretty decently here. Kenny and Random Series into the pit. How much penalty? So Kenny's got 9, Random Series with 19. Ouch. that doesn't help out very much here. We'll still stay on that tire compound list. There you go. Oh, Kenny and JC Blackley are both pitting. Oh, JC, that's gotta hurt. Oh, he loses so much time. I guess the teammates weren't on the same page as when they were pitting. Oh, JC doesn't get a new wing either. Oh, as we see him come out of the pit lane on that broken front wing. At least it still says Red Bull. You can still see the sponsor, but it doesn't help you when you're on the racetrack. What was that? Jacko seemed to have got an overtake. What's on with Lord Zed? Seems to be slowing up a little bit there. There's a yellow in sector 3. I think some drivers are getting blue flags. Oh, Lord Zed just rips into the pit lane. That's an obvious penalty. But as it stands right now, HSVDT and Elma Jacko are going to come over 1-2. Not much racing left to go here. Hotspot, who was on for a really good finish, is now down into 6th place. Penalties galore is being handed out right now, so still plenty of moves to go around. But Tier gets an overtake on Lord Zed as Lord Zed's into the pit. Tier has a really good chance at going podium here. Him and Will M are 3-4, a very surprising 3-4, might I add. Very solid day for the two of them. They've moved up a couple of positions each. HSVT moves up 3 positions from 4th to 1st, so very solid driving from him as well. Elma Jacko able to hold serve in 2nd place. I'm trying to make those tires, get them around the rest of the track. Yeah, very slick. Now the rain's really coming down here. Quickly check back over to the tire compounds, and now a lot of drivers have switched over. We should see Random Series overtake Lord Zed if he's just going to be able to outbrake him, simply put. We'll see if Lord Zed feels the pressure, and yeah, dude, there you go. Lord Zed couldn't do anything. He broke about the same time as Random Series, but Random with those tires is just able to hold on. We'll see how much ground Random can make up here, but I think with the amount of penalties that he's got, it's just not going to help him out. So a lot of these guys ahead are going to be saved by the amount of penalties that Kenny and Random Series has. There you go, you see Hotspot into the wall, so very tough racing from this point out. Random Series gets a very easy overtake. Now you see it's Will M, so Random Series is most likely going to finish on podium, but with penalties galore. You know what? I shouldn't speak so soon because Random Series is just making a killer ground right here. So the possibility of him opening up an 8-second gap between him and Will M is very much a possibility. And then Will M picking up a penalty, so 5 seconds. So I think Random Series is set for a podium here. All he's got to do is just make sure he keeps that gap between him and Kenny to above 2 seconds. So that's going to be a very tough task for Series, for sure. But I think the spin out early on for Sirius was really what did him in. Now Jacko's actually brought himself within a second as this race is starting to get really exciting here on going into the last lap here. We got 2 teammates battling for 1-2. Random Sirius looking to hold off a 2.5 second gap between him and Kenny, as well as open up a gap, which he's already done, to Will M. So Random Series has overtaken Will M entirely, even after serving penalty, and that gap between the 2 drivers continually grows. But Jacko seems to have the pace over his teammate HSVDT on the slicks in the wet. So HSVDT isn't real tough. Maybe Jacko just has a better car setup for this situation. But yeah, very true. Jacko does not need to overtake as well with HS getting so much penalties. Love to check how much warnings he has, but it looks like, yeah, Narniel gets an overtake as well. We'll switch back to the tire compounds. Oh, it looks, I think, Tier the Tier. Oh, the Tier pitted, but unfortunately he put on some softs. Oh no. That's not what you want to see. Very unlucky stuff there. Will M and Tier the Tier with 2 laps left, seemingly. Had it in the bag. HSVDT misses his braking zone, is able to come back at his teammate and get the overtake done. Can HSVDT force Jacko maybe into gaining another warning? But Jacko's going to take his time and he's going to come over the line in second place, but will jump up into first. HSVDT on track, finisher of first, but gets overtaken, like I said, by his teammate Jacko. Random Serious coming through wall of champion chicane. I'll check, and actually Kenny picked up a penalty, so Random Serious is going to come over with a very nice third place. Kenny looking to come over fourth. I'm not sure if he's going to stay fourth. I think that gap between him and Narniel was 9 seconds, but right now it sits at 10 between the two, so yep. Kenny's going to take fourth place. Lord Zed seemingly going to come over in fifth. Will M actually still trying to come back at Lord Zed, but on the pit straight, it's not going to make much of a difference. Let's see where JC Blackley can finish up here. Did he chop up enough time? And no, 0.2 of a second is the difference between the two. Hotspot, after starting off so well, finds himself in 9th place. He's going to be surely aggravated about that finish. Money Matt. Actually, the penalties aren't changing all too much here. The only one that's really going to change is Suitman and Spaceman. In the bottom portion of the pack there, we see Smith Pell, Daltonian, Tim Lee, and 78 Corvette finishing 14th to 17th. There we go. Suitman comes over and is followed by Spaceman, which will surely be jumped. You know, I gotta say, that was a really good race to get us back into the new year. Not gonna lie, really exciting stuff. But we're gonna get into the sprint race in this Midwest homestand. And by Midwest homestand, I of course mean that every race going all the way from Div 1 to Div 3 on Thursday night, as well as the multiplayer series on Friday, will all be at the Canadian Grand Prix at Circuit Jacques Villeneuve. I see the 2 Mercedes Academy drivers, which is actually where Elma Jacko races out of, so I'm not sure if that was planned by the 2, but just hoping for no steward reports. I'm not sure. We might see one. Very quality stuff though, but Elma Jacko and HSVDT come over 1-2 in Prima Racing. Random Serious with a very solid third place, starting 6th, moving up into 3rd. Kenny starting 19th, going all the way up into 4th. Some very good stuff from him today. Unfortunately, with that early crash. Narniel in 5th, being the only Charouz in the top 10. High tech of Lord Zed in 6th. Will M, solid 7th place. JC starting 8th, finishing 8th. Hotspot, not what you want to see, getting pole and dropping down to 9th place. Money Matt in 10th. Tier, the highest Canadian, could have had a better finish, but it is what it is. Spaceman, Suitman, Smith, Pell go 12th to 14th. AE Daltonian in 15th, followed by Tim Lee, and soonly followed by his dad, I believe that is, in 78 Corvette. And Gin Twin and ZGS unfortunately DNF'd both. So, onto the sprint race we are going to go. The top 8 finish will be flipped. So, we're going to see HSVDT and Helmut Jacko actually starting 8th and 7th here. Who was 8th? That was JC Blackley's going to get pole. Oh, 7th place. Oh, come on. It was only a second ago. You can remember. Jumpin' Jesus. But I guess while we have a little bit of a break in the action here, some of you may know that we actually have a Rainbow Six League. or a Rainbow Six team that represent us in a pro league, in a semi-pro league, which is very well done by one of our own, the Garisvac. Solid stuff from him. Please go be sure to check that out, as that is the Hyper Series R6. Some very exciting stuff. Be sure to support our Midwest Reapers. That was the name that Pork Chops came up with. We had a very ill logo, and I said ill, and I know it because it is. It is absolutely sick. It looks very cool. Got a nice little racing helmet, crashed with some sice going across the middle, kind of mimicking our Midwest F1 League logo as well. So you love to see it, but there you go. Will M is actually in second place, followed by Lord Zed. We'll have to see who gets a good start here. A couple of the cars back of the pack. I'd love to say who they are, but I have no idea. 3 wide into turn 1. Kenny goes off track, finds himself in 5th. JC Blackley trying to send it around the outside on Narniel, and we got a virtual safety car. We were very, very, very early on here. Suitman is disqualified as he is parked in a dangerous location. Whoopsie, whoopsie. VSC very, very early on. I'll try and get that Hyper Series link here. Hyper Series R6. There we go. So be sure to go give them a follow. They'd very much appreciate. We are in cahoots with each other. They will do the same to us as we do to them. And there's plenty of penalties that I have not, but I still have to check up on those. A lot of 5-second penalties, so some sort of contact must have been had very on this race, but we are back to green. Will M holds the lead on JC Blackley as JC unfortunately lost out very early. Kenny gets an overtake on Jacko. That's going to be a fun little battle to witness, as Kenny and Jacko did battle it out in the Midwest Madness finale, where Jacko and Kenny found themselves actually in the winner's final, and Jacko got the best of them there, and then Kenny tried to come back in the finals, but oh, I shouldn't be spoiling it. Screw it. Jacko overtook him again, and unfortunately for himself, got the win in the end. But once again, we see rain off the hop here. So now what's going to be the plan? Last time we saw it at the end, and we saw a lot of drivers stay out. Now this time, we see it very early. And he shows how slippery the track is going to get. He must have known that I'm on board with Jacko here and decides to spin a little bit. Spaceman's ZGS into the pits early. 78 Corvette jumps up into 16th. Must have spun out as he's 17 seconds behind his, I believe, son of Tim Lee. Lord Zed, JC Blackley, and Narniel all getting real close. Kenny getting an overtake on Lord Zed and actually has the inside line there, so he should be able to hold on to that. This is going to get a little interesting here now with the wet and all these drivers so very close to each other. JC and Kenny still hold out in 3rd and 4th place. I wonder what those two will do. They actually had a nice little battle in the Midwest F1 League Midwest Madness, and Lord Zed sends it and hits JC Blackley, goes on the inside and does a little double, unfortunately on the 2. Kenny's going to be rightfully annoyed about that as Lord Zed gets a piece of JC Blackley and will get an overtake done. JC's looking to come back, but Lord Zed has the line. Oh, and Jacko shoots that and gets a good chunk of JC, and JC's race has gone to crap, simply put. We'll have to see what the plan is here. Kenny is in the pits. Spaceman has pitted and goes to the wet. What is Kenny? Okay, so Kenny and Tim Lee are going to go to the wet, so this actually may help him out. There you go. HSVDT cuts the Sebastian Vettel chicane. Is that Tier the Tier? And oh, Tier the Tier actually finds himself off. That was actually perfect timing for my case, but I actually jumped on the wrong driver. I think that's ZGS. Yeah, ZGS is on the wall. We'll have to jump off that because that's pretty annoying. This is going to turn into something very interesting here. We'll have to check that gap between Tier the Tier and Kenny and see how much time he is making up on Tier the Tier to really know how much better those wets are right now. And I'm not sure what's going on there, but it says that Kenny took off 20 seconds in 2 turns there, so ZGS has retired from the session. We have a VSC. Oh, this is going to hurt Kenny a little bit if these drivers decide to pit. Not sure how many will. There we go. Yeah, we do see quite a few drivers coming in for what is a free pit stop. And that's going to hurt Kenny a lot, as Kenny's not going to be able to make up as much ground as he was hoping. But with some of those drivers having to serve some penalties, it's going to help him ever so slightly, but all these drivers should be able to get out cleanly before Kenny comes into turn 1. Kenny had a really good situation going for him, but with that VSC from the retirement of ZGS, it's going to make things a lot easier, or sorry, a lot harder. There you go, all these drivers onto the 4 wets. We'll see who comes out on top. Will Ems is coming out of the pit. And there we go, we're back to green. So we'll have to see where Kenny comes out. Still a lot of cars in the pit. Now, if it wasn't for that VSC, Kenny probably would have come out in first. Actually, no, that gap between him and Smith Pell, and no, Kenny gets too heavy on the throttle. Just has a very slight bit of wing damage, but not too much. He's going to find himself out and back behind his teammate of JC Blackley, so not the day that these two were hoping for. But Will M continually holds on to first place in this race, followed by Lord Zed second and a half between the two. Narniel in third. Now, I'm not sure what is going to be the rest of the weather here. So, there may be another pit stop. We just go off of what we see in the booth, that is. We have the worst producers possible. And they don't seem to like to help us. There you go, JC Blackley gets a clean overtake done on Tim Lee. Tim Lee now drops back into the 9th, or 8th, sorry. Solid top 10 for him so far. Let's see if he's able to hold on to that through the rest of this race. If he's just able to keep his nose clean, I could see him finishing the top 10. 8th may be tough for him to hold, but still lots of racing to go, and I'd love to see Tim Lee get her done. Lord Zed, Will M, and Narniel all getting real close here, as Narniel is actually getting really, really close. We'll jump right onto the front of him, just over the halo. Pretty much right on the helmet of GoPro cam. Let's see if Will M is going to be able to hold off these two for 9 laps, but the door was ever so slightly open for Lord Zed, but Will M respectively did give him the line, but Lord Zed opted out of it. Now we'll see if there's going to be a move into turn 8 here. And Will M not able to hold off the two drivers for too long, as Narniel has got the inside line, and Narniel and Lord Zed are going to overtake, and now they're going to battle. And actually Jacko was coming right at him as well, and Jacko gets an overtake, but Will M just licks a stamp and sends it, and actually had the racing line re-overtakes Jacko. See, but Jacko has a better acceleration out of turn 10 and through 11, and will regain that position. And who we have spun out there? Is that Random Series? Very well, maybe. Kenny seems to be losing quite a bit of position, so not how he wanted it to turn out. And yeah, Random Series was the driver to spin out here, but we have a lovely little battle in it for second place here. Lord Zed is able to break himself away from the pack a little bit. Will M is trying to get back at Jacko and Narniel. But he's actually got 13 seconds worth of penalties, so that's going to be quite a tough task for him, to say the least. Jacko's trying to work Narniel. Now, Narniel and Lord Zed, if you followed the Midwest F1 League since Season 1, you will know former teammates at Sauber Jr. Dun, dun, dun. So, Lord Zed, of course, winning the Drivers' Championship last year. Narniel coming third. Mahi Mahi finishing second. So only one driver was between the two. And right now, half a second is between the two, as Lord Zed is pulling away from Narniel. But Lord Zed has that penalty of 5 seconds, so he's really got to pull away and then some. but what's going to help him out is the battle between Jacko and Narniel. If that commences until the end of this race, really, then there's a very good chance that Lord Zed is able to increase that gap. Here we go. We're going to see Jacko pull out and take a lunge. No, we will not. Kenny retires from session. He did not have the race that he was hoping for here. Oh, he's gone right off into the wall. Car's parked in a pretty decent spot on track. I'm not sure if we'll see a full VSC, but up to the game to decide. JC Blackley seemed to have gotten overtake done on Tim Lee for 7th place. As Tim Lee once again finds himself back into 8th. He's going to be in the top. He's got HSVDT, our last race 2nd place finisher. Right behind him, and picking up a penalty is not going to help him out one bit. Jinnit and Money Matt doing some solid battling through turn 1 and 2 here. Money Matt's going to have the inside line, but Jinnit, ooh, is ahead. And oh, what happened with Tim Lee? Tim Lee and HSVDT must have gotten into it somehow. We saw that right in front of us as we were checking out that fight between Money Matt and HSVDT. Or no, sorry, it was Money Matt and Jinnit. But now Tim Lee has found himself going from 8th to 11th. He's with a broken right front flap on that right wing. So he should be able to last out, but his top 10 finishes might be gone here, as I think he's got some very hot, wet tires. He's going to want to try and cool those down. Doesn't feel safe taking that turn through turn 9, so he just opts to cut the line. Money Matt looks to get an overtake done on HSVDT. This he does. He's trying to pull away from the casino straight here, but HS gets a really good run out of turn 11, turn 10, 9, and then somehow that's turn 12. But from what I've seen in the video on the specific rules of a track turn is that it has to be a change of direction, and here we have spun out there. That might be Tier the Tier. Yes, it is. Tier the Tier, unfortunately, spinning out at that hairpin of turn 10. Jacko's still battling with Narniel, and as actually Narniel has found some pretty solid pace here, as he's made up quite a bit of ground on Lord Zed and will get the jump and overtake into first place if the race were to end this lap, but no, we still have 6 laps to go. So still plenty of racing. Jinnit looking to try and come at HSVDT, but in an awkward spot on track to do so. If he can get a really good run out here, but that dirty air is going to hurt him a little bit, but not too much. I don't think he got that good of a run out of that turn 7. May be able to line himself up into that hairpin of turn 10 if he can get a nice clean line through here. Gets a much better line, and there you go. Now he's going to be able to take a good lunge into turn 10. HSVDT goes to defend. We'll get on board with Money Matt here. See what HSVDT can do as they go wheel to wheel, and HSVDT pushes him way wide. Oh, I don't think that's going to be a happy Jinnit there, as Jinnit loses out on 2 positions. And oh, Jinnit actually loses out on his entire race, as over throttles ever so slightly, and he's in the wall, and a VSC has been deployed for all the drivers. But once again, Lord Zed has opened up that gap between him and Narniel to above 2 seconds here. I must be honest, I very much feel for Jinnit in that situation. I feel like HSVDT was very much in the wrong there and pushing Jinnit a little bit too wide. I think Jinnit got a little bit too aggressive on the throttle to try and make up that time loss, and unfortunately found himself into the wall. Jacko seems to have brought himself really close onto Narniel and actually gets an overtake done. Not sure what Jacko did through that virtual safety car, but both are with penalties now and are actually even. Narniel, unfortunately, has actually 8 seconds worth of penalties. Looks like Tier the Tier unfortunately has a drive-through penalty, so that's going to really hurt. Hotspot's worked himself back into 6th place, and solid, clean driving for him throughout this race. Might be able to overtake Smith Powell. Throughout the day, I must say that Hotspot's thrown some quicker pace, so we're going to see a battle commence between the two fairly quick there. Money Matt is actually staying pretty close to HSVDT there, so in Money Matt's best situation to stay as close as possible. But right now, with Jacko and Lord Zed's 5-second penalty, we're going to see Lord Zed hold on to first place, and Jacko's got 2 seconds to make up here. Will M's got 16 seconds worth of penalties, so he's going to be dropping down the order. So Hotspot and Smith Bell are virtually in a battle for 4th place. Let's see what Hotspot can do here. Doesn't opt for the racing line that has been made for the drivers driving on it prior to him. Instead opts for the wet line, maybe trying to cool down the tires. Not sure if they are too wet. I couldn't imagine them being too wet right now. It is absolutely bucketing down right now. Dalton and Sirius are going to battle into turn 10. Sirius, there you go, takes the inside line. Dalton, they're actually, Sirius gets a little bit drifty coming through turn 10, and Dalton's got the cleaner and better traction coming out as well. I have a yellow flag early in sector 2 there, but nothing going. I think, yeah, that's just tier to tier being lapped. There we go. Hotspot and Smith Pell are going to be battling, I think, until the end of this race here. Smith Pell's doing a very solid job of keeping Hotspot at bay, making Hotspot have to work for this. Surely. Jacko's brought that gap to 1.5 seconds. Let's see if he's going to be able to bring it all the way down in the last few laps here. Random Series gets an overtake done on Dalton. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to pick that up, and actually they're fighting, so I'll get right on that. There you go. Actually, Random Series finishes off the overtake into that Sebastian Vettel chicane of turn 3. HSVDT picks up a penalty, so that's really going to hurt his cause. Looks like Money Matt lost quite a bit of time somewhere, as he is now 4.5 seconds down of HSVDT. Oh, what happened to Hotspot? What did I miss? Hotspot must have lost it somewhere. Oh. Very, very unfortunate. He's sitting right on the cusp now. He's got to try and stay as clean as he can and make up some ground on Will M if he's going to want to jump over Will M. Now, that's really brought that into the equation. It looks he's 11, well, just 12, so plus that 3-second time penalty. That's going to be a really close finish between the two. HSVDT's actually working himself within striking distance, of Hotspot. Jacko's not able to take out too much time of Lord Zed. Not much is to go on, as it's seeming, for the rest of this race here. We're still sitting at a second and a half between Jacko and Lord Zed. 2 seconds between Smith Pell and Will M. And Smith Pell doesn't really need to overpush, because he's got 16 seconds of penalties ahead of him, so not too much he needs to really do. HSVDT is trying to work that gap closer to Hotspot, but he's going to be in tough there, as Hotspot's no slouch. Unfortunately, one spin out at some part of the track that I unfortunately missed has been the doing of Hotspot in this race so far, and trying to work himself back within 5th place positioning. Looks like he's going to be able to do so. Actually, the HSVDT might be able to bring himself within striking distance. So 13 seconds of penalties between Will M and HSVDT, and about that in time, maybe 12 and a half after it sits. Yeah, around that, 12 and a half seconds between the two. So Will M, oh no, Will M picks up a penalty, so now that's really going to hurt him. HSVT should be able to jump up into 6 as well. Hotspot surely has 5th place locked down, as well as Smith Pell. Looking to jump up into 4th and a very solid finish there. Who do we have spun out? Is that the tier? I believe so. Unfortunately, he must have spun out somewhere in there. That battle is going to come through the finish line. Lord Zed is going on to the final lap here. Jacko's seemingly running out of time, but he does see Lord Zed may be able to line up some sort of overtake here. Lord Zed just got to have one clean lap. Lord Zed is a full second ahead of Jacko, and Jacko and him are even on penalties. Narniel surely is going to come home in 3rd place, as the 2 former Sauber Junior team drivers are going to finish on a podium together after that infamous breakup that rocked the Midwest F1 League world. Smithville is actually making up a little bit of ground on Will M, but that's not where the battle is. The battle is for 1st place here to see if Jacko can get an overtake done on Lord Zed. Only a couple more turns to come through here. Jacko has worked that lead down. The yellow flag in Sector 1, but that is just a blue flag being waved out to, I think, that being 78 Corvette or Tim Lee. But Lord Zed does a very good job coming through and actually opens that gap a whole half a second between him and Jacko, and it's surely his for the taking now. We might see Dalton overtake Random Serious in the end, but right now, no penalties awarded. Lord Zed is going to come over the line with the sprint race win. Elma Jacko coming 2nd. Narniel is going to finish up in a solid 3rd place. Oh, gets a good piece of the wall there, actually. Will M is currently sitting in 4th. Will stick much be dropped. It looks like he's going to go all the way down into 7th place, but a 4th place finish on track. Maybe some penalties to be revoked after all is said and done. Smith Pell is going to come over in 5th, but will surely be advanced up into 4th place. HSVDT actually getting pretty close to Hotspot there. Hotspot's going to come over in 6th, going to jump up into 5th, as well as HSVDT in 7th, jumping it up into 6th. Will M, as I said before, in 7th. Money Matt, most likely, yeah, he should just stay into 8th place. Going down at the bottom part of the pack there, Tim Lee in 12th, Tier the Tier in 13th, not his day. Spaceman 14th, 78 Corvette in 15th. Money Matt finishing, coming over the line in the top 10. JC Blackley is going to take home 9th place, Random Series in 10th with all those penalties. Will Daltonian be able to make up that ground? I think he will, and he might jump up into 10th. Yes, he did, so Random Series gets pushed into 11th after his podium finish in the first race. Not what he was hoping for, but some solid points still from the lad. So not too much to complain about from him today, but Jacko's picking up quite a bit of points in this F2 series right off the get-go as he gets a double podium at the Canadian Grand Prix. Whoa. Well, we're back. We are back. You know what? If you were here from the beginning, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I may have struggled ever so slightly at the beginning, but I kind of finished pretty strong. I had to get my feet wet a little bit, but what can you say? After the Christmas break, I didn't expect much from myself, but from the drivers, you know what? I'm not the main attraction here. The drivers truly are, and for the drivers, they did a very solid a very solid show put on for me today, and I very much appreciate all of their hard work that they put in to try and put on the best product possible. And Lord Zed, as I said, we can check the weekend. There we go. So we'll look at this. And this is different from how we do our point standings, but we'll just kind of go through what it is. With Elma Jack getting the most points, Lord Zed getting the second, HSBDT finishing off the points podium, Narniel 4th, Random Series 5th, Kenny 6th, Hotspot in 7th, Will M in a pretty solid 8th, Smith Pell, the highest Canadian of the day, in 9th, JC Blackley rounding out the top 10, Money Matt 11th, AE Daltonium in 12th, and see, now this is where it's going to get weird because we actually give points to the people that finish, so not really anything to hang your, some solid stuff to hang your hat on, but the points are different from how we do it, so blah blah blah, whatever. Solid stuff from everyone. Very much appreciate everyone coming in today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we are back with our Div 1 race as well as in the Canadian Grand Prix. Yeah, be sure to follow us on all of our outlets, being Twitter and Instagram, as well as YouTube. We just hit 50 followers on YouTube, so that's a little bit of a milestone for us there. So we're growing, and we very much appreciate everyone that's helping us grow. We wouldn't be here without everyone's help. And if you pass this on to your friend, that it even helps us even more. So we appreciate everything that everyone does for here. And I sent out a nice little drunk New Year's Day text messages. I was having a good time. Quarantined. Let me be straight, I was. But I had a fun little time by myself. I know I was by myself. I was with my girlfriend. So by myself. Just kidding, that's a bad joke. But yeah, that's about it for me. I've been Crash McQueen. This has been the Midwest F1 League. Be sure, as I said, to tune in tomorrow as we have our main event, the Div 1, as well as we got Div 2 hosted by Hotspot. That gets thrown up right onto the YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out when it is up there. But we are back, baby. 2021 is going to be an awesome year for the Midwest F1 League. I don't want to say it's going to be our year, but it's going to be a good year, and it's going to be a fun year for everyone if you are involved. So be sure to tune in from beginning to end. Once again, I have been Crash McQueen. This has been the Midwest F1 League. Thank you and good night. Oh, I didn't sign off yet. Pork Chop Division 3. Yes. Do we have a broadcaster for that, don't we? I believe he's going to be doing the same thing as but yeah, we got Division 3. I guess that's a New Year's thing. I completely it's been in the no, we don't have one. Okay, yeah, but we do have a Division 3 now in the Midwest F1 League. So we got our Div 1, Div 2, and Div 3. All the teams are connected, so if someone is injured, we'll just say air quotations, injured in Div 1, a Div 2 driver will be brought up, and then a Div 3 driver will be brought up to replace that Div 2 driver. So 60 freaking drivers indeed. We are growing. We are absolutely massive. How many people are total in this Discord? So 3 plus 24, 27 plus 69. It's 20 plus 27 plus 69, so 96 drivers. Jeez. 96 people that are in this Discord. When I first joined, there was like 22. Like, 96 people are in this thing? Oh my god. I never even noticed that. Alright. Okay, well, I got a boogie. Okay. Thank you very much for everyone that's tuned in. Be sure to check out all of our outlets. Like I said before, I'm not going to go through all that whole spiel like I did, but hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Let's freaking do this. 2021 is going to be a fun year for the Midwest F1 League, and be sure to be involved in it. So we'll see you tomorrow, and also this Friday, and on our YouTube channel and our Twitter page as well. And check out our Instagram, as that is run by one of the drivers on this. So show that some support. Hyper Series Rainbow Six is another one of our outlets. So check our team out there. If you're into Rainbow Six, you'll enjoy that, and you have a team to support. So be sure to support us, as we very much appreciate that. If you're going to order some Rogue Energy, be sure to use the Midwest F1 code. But yeah, that's about it for me. I'm going to give a less exciting intro as I did before, so I kind of want to leave now. So thank you and good night. I've been Crash McQueen. This has been the Midwest F1 League. Have a good evening. Goodbye.